Welcome to my ramblings. This episode, Stalin versus Lenin. Back in high school, we had lessons on, communism, China. It's part of history class. You learn about the evil creatures out there. So, the further you go up in your education, the more sophisticated, the more deeper you learn about things and stuff. And just and memory fades. So what I remember from the lessons of Stalin versus Lenin, and I'm doing this ramble because I make reference to Stalin in several other videos, and so I thought I should make the distinction of so Lenin was a bad guy. He was he was corrupt. I think somewhere he was a murderer or something. He wasn't a very nice guy, in other words. He wasn't this idealistic, oh, I want communism because it's good for all mankind. But it's kind of portrayed as in a certain way because it's meant to show that even under the almost idealistic conditions, is that because communism doesn't take into account human nature, human desire to pursue their own opportunity, their own path, their own self-interest. It's doomed to fail. And even worse is then a guy like Stalin comes along. And what was Stalin? Well, Stalin was a member of the Communist Party, but he made his way up by backstabbing people, by turning people against other people, by having people murdered. Um, and that's how he worked his way up, into the upper echelons of the Communist Party. And so, when you talk about Stalin, when some people talk about Stalin, they just mean, you know, um, it's in one way you're talking about the man and the way he got to power. The other way, you're trying to show just how bad human nature can be, and it's also a defense of our system of government where we have all these checks and balances, so that those who seek tyranny for their own purposes, the system was designed to prevent that. So, but he was a pretty bad guy, and he'd move people, millions of people out of areas and stuff, um, because he was worried about insurrection and stuff. And as he grew doing these things, pitting people against people, taking multiple sides and having people killed off and stuff, he became really paranoid. So we're told, and that he began. I guess I don't know if it was that he thought somebody else was going to be this way towards him, or if he was just paranoid. I don't know, but he started having lots of people killed off. The closest, the biggest threat, was they had to be eliminated because they were a threat to his power. And especially, I guess, once he got up into the highest seats, and that's when anybody that came close, to having influence and power sort of got eliminated and killed off. But he did a lot of that in order to climb through the ranks. And I don't know what the rest of I don't I never lived in the Soviet Union, thank God. I never lived in Russia either. Russia's now one of the countries that was comprised of the Soviet Union, but I guess it was the main country, the country that sort of absorbed and took over all the other countries that made up the Soviet Union. But so when I talk about Stalin, you don't want a Stalin guy here or there. That's the worrisome. If you get a Stalin guy there, what's to stop him if you don't have checks and balances in your government? And so when I talk about Stalin and Pryor, that's the guy I'm talking about, the guy I just described. Anyway, my opinion. You know, I'm sure we all have our own opinions, but that's what I'm talking about when I talk about Stalin. So, uh, you know, if you had to rank the two most evil people in the world, who do you pick, Hitler or Stalin? I do not know. Uh, Close match. They, they both, well, the way Hitler killed people, God, that's horrendous. Stalin killed a lot of people too. Um, they had their Siberian work camps and stuff. So I guess Hitler would get the edge, but Stalin's not far behind. All right, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this ramble. Have a good day.